What's going on in your world, man?
I'm having one of those days where I feel a little bit defeated and deflated.
Talk to me. What's going on?
I Yeah, and while I put my hand up, I was like, I probably know the answer to this. It's probably just go do the other thing. So this morning I sent out a email to my waiting list for the mapping product. I was like, all right, here's the deal. I'm doing 8 mapping packages at a severely discounted rate, and then a free one-on-one private terrain clarity session with me. And it was a good email. And I did not get a single response. And I'm just like, oh shit. And I think that maybe I've just built an audience of people that aren't starving for the solution that I provide. I'm wondering if you have any insights on that. If just like totally just change the content strategy, go find people who are starving. Like, how do you do that?
Well, a couple things. Did you send anything before sending that email?
I'd sent a couple emails to that list, and it's been like a little bit like crickets, like, oh shit, like, who are these people?
Are they
And
opening it?
yeah, there's like a 50% open rate,
How many people are on it?
just shy of 200 right now.
Cool. So, a couple things. So, one is like, um, something to consider, right? Is like, and you could still kind of do this. It's like when people join like a list of some sort, and you're going to eventually like sell them on something or whatever. It's oftentimes good to like massage their understanding of like what you even do and what it is even going to be. Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people probably saw like or could have potentially seen you today go and put this thing out and there's this discount and this that. And I'm sure you gave some information on what it is, but they don't totally understand it,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
Like
I just put the email that I sent in the chat in the link. If you want to totally roast it, please do.
first thing that comes to mind, man, is just that it's not. So here's what this does, right? You're basically in this email. They haven't heard a ton from you, right? Good day.
Mm-hmm.
Email looks fine. I would consider not designing it and just making it feel like it's like from your desk. That's just a consideration.
All right.
That's how I do all my emails. I think overly designed emails are no bueno. That's not like how I like to send stuff. I think you want to make it look like it's just like you sent the email, right? Uh,
Yeah.
it just feels more personal. So I would be tempted to not design this. I would throw out the design if I were you. Harsh feedback, but just send like a plain text email, maybe with one image in it. Look at
Yeah.
my newsletter to kind of get a sense of like the vibe.
Yeah. Super
Um,
simple.
more, yeah, more like low key. But what you're doing is you're saying you're getting this because you said you're interested. This is kind of what we do. This is what people are saying. For a limited time, here's the offer. But this part probably needs to be like 5 emails first. Okay. Because what you're doing, like this solution you have, this is somewhat novel. Like it's not obvious
Yeah.
necessarily what you do. It's not like insanely novel, but it's like novel enough. Like even Founder OS is novel enough, right? I have to let people know like what it actually is. So when people go and join our email, we have 5 emails that people get over 5 days that give them an understanding of like how to go and build a profitable personal brand. And then we give them 4 or 5 emails on what we do to help people build one. And what I
Mm-hmm.
would be considering is it's totally fine you sent this. There's no issue. But now have like 4 or 5 emails over like say the next like 2 weeks that you give them more information on exactly what Landscope is,
Okay.
right? What's the main problem it solves? What's the second problem it solves? The third problem it solves? How is it such a great investment? What are people saying about it with a case study? Like really
Mm-hmm.
massage their understanding of like what this really does, what it is, right? Because yes, it's quietly helping stewards, prospective landowners, designers, developers make decisions with clarity, speed, and confidence. But like, there's a lot of tech behind that they need to understand more to be convinced to go buy one of these packages.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you've done all that. Like, all of this is good. The context is just missing.
Okay. Sweet.
So that's one piece. Okay. So like that's the email communication piece. When you have people join your email list, especially for something kind of novel like this, I would recommend that you have like an automated 4 or 5 emails that goes out and educates them on the general solution, and then also educates them on how you help them and drive them to conversion. You can go
Mhm.
and sign up to the Founder Us newsletter and just go and see how we do this and just
Yeah.
mimic it for your niche. Even go and put my emails into Claude and make your own emails from
Mhm.
ours. Like, hey, make
Yeah.
mine like this. Um, that's number one. So number two is how do you attract prospective buyers? So the way to attract people that are in the pocket to convert to what you're doing is to speak to the pain that is not working in their life right now. So for your people, as an example, you help stewards, prospective landowners, designers, developers, right? Let's just say we're talking about a developer. That developer is about, he went and like this developer went and bought this piece of land, right? And they're getting ready to restore it, to do like this kind of like eco concept on the piece of land. But he's nervous. He's heard all his friends have done similar type things, and he's heard horror stories, right? That people bought the land and turns out like there was actually not clean water on it, or someone bought the land and there was like a sinkhole where they were going to build their homes, and there's all these like disaster stories that he's heard on people just doing it wrong. And
Mhm.
while he's excited about what he could be building on the land and the financial opportunity, what keeps him up at night is like the downside risks, right? The risks that he doesn't develop it right, the risk that he's not even understanding all the risks, the risk that he doesn't actually totally understand the project on like a data driven level, and that there may be some unforeseen thing he's not thinking through. So what I just said as an example is a story in that developer's head. Okay. And
It's keeping them up at 3 a.m.
yeah, and that's the kind of thing that, imagine, so those first five emails you send them, imagine you could agitate that pain. Oh, here are five horror stories of people and the biggest mistakes they make and how to avoid them. Here's the cost of making one fatal error when you're a developer buying a piece of land. Oh, and here's the things you need to be thinking about. And
Yeah.
suddenly, like, you're agitating this pain, right? You're getting them like, damn, I got to think about that. And your content, it's rather similar, right? You want to think about all those sort of like painful stories they may have in their head and make content around that kind of stuff. So, the pain points that come when getting land, the pain points that come when restoring land, the troubles that different eco villages have, and innovative ways people have solved them. Investment decisions gone wrong with pieces of land. So people start seeing this or sharing it, and they're like, damn, have you seen this? This is horrible. Like, oh my God, imagine this. Like, we can't have this happen to us. And
Yeah.
sure enough, like you're attracting people that fit that same pain point in their head, and they start coming to you because they're like, man, we got to check out what this guy does. Like, he clearly understands the pain and the problem we're experiencing right now. And if he understands that on such a deep level, well, then he must have a solution also that's quite deep to solve it because he clearly understands the market. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
So,
Cool.
yeah, similarly, like if it's something that feels tricky, oftentimes what I'll use for this kind of stuff again is like Claude or ChatGPT, and I would feed it a lot of context around Landscope, and I would go and I would put all the information I have on it and all that, and then get it to go and rank high converting content ideas from top to bottom based on the core market I'm going after. Something I would consider as well is you're going after a lot of different people in one. Like, I would try to make a core customer avatar. So
Yeah. So they're going to have to really narrow it down to probably developers just because they've got,
cool.
okay.
So like, this is an example of one for like Founder OS that I made, right? Or, that ChatGPT helped me with, right? And it flushed out like what the person wants, their psychographic profile, the belief shift they need, the identity
Mhm.
that I help give them, the shared core values that we have, Matt's frequency and what they hear from me, right? And so what ends up happening then is like I make this core avatar of this founder, right? And then
Mhm.
I speak to this person, this one person in every piece of content I make,
Yeah.
right? It's also useful because when you're using ChatGPT or when you're using Claude or whatever you're using, you can upload this to there and then get it to help you serve that person, right? So that when you're working with AI, you're not just having it guess as to like who you serve and who you help. You have this deep customer avatar as to, hey, this is the person I'm trying to help. And then let's make content for them. Let's make an offer for them. Let's make a website that converts them, whatever.
Yeah, it's got way better context to actually make those
Exactly.
decisions. Sweet. Okay. Word.
Are you clear? Kind of that makes sense, like on the content
Yeah.
side, what to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that.